Hey, Informers, Noah St. John here from noahstjohn.com and affirmations.com. And welcome to the Ask Noah St. John show right here on noahnation.com. I am here on noahnation.com every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, where I answer your questions about how to get rid of your head trash, how to get unstuck, find your voice, and automate your business so you can have more time freedom, personal freedom, and financial freedom. Hello and welcome. Welcome to all my Informers from all around the world. So I have a big announcement today, and I'm going to make that announcement in just a few minutes. Now today, our topic is how to put a stop loss order on your worries. How to put a stop loss order on your worries. Now I'm continuing my look at one of my favorite books in self-help, and that is How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. Now today, our chapter is entitled, Put a Stop Loss Order on Your Worries. And so I'm going to read you a story from this chapter, and it's a very interesting story, and I think it's one you're going to enjoy, and it's actually going to help you a lot in your business. Would you like to know how to make money on Wall Street? Well, so would a million other people. And if I knew the answer, this book would sell for $10,000 a copy. Now that's classic Dale Carnegie right there, right? I mean, it's just, yeah. However, there's one good idea that some successful operators use. This story was told to me by Charles Roberts, an investment counselor. I originally came to New York from Texas with $20,000 my friends had given me to invest in the stock market. I thought I knew the ropes, but I lost every cent. I didn't mind so much losing my own money, but I felt terrible about having lost my friends' money. I dreaded facing them again after our venture, but to my astonishment, they were not only good sports about it, they proved to be incurable optimists. I knew I'd been trading on a hit or miss basis and depending largely on luck or other people's opinions. I began to think over my mistakes and determined that before I went back into the market again, I would try to find out what it was all about. And I asked a friend of mine about how to do that as one of the most successful speculators who ever lived, Burton S. Castles. It's like basically asking the Warren Buffett of his time for investment advice. He asked me a few questions about how I traded before and then told me what I believe is the most important principle in trading. He said I put a stop loss order on every market commitment I make. If I buy a stock, say at $50 a share, I immediately place a stop loss order on it at $45. That means when and if the stock should decline as much as 5 points below its cost, it would be sold automatically, thereby limiting the loss to 5 points. Makes sense, doesn't it? If your commitments are intelligently made in the first place, the old master continued, your profits will average 10, 25, or even 50 points. Consequently, by limiting your losses to 5 points, you can be wrong more than half the time and still make plenty of money. I adopted that principle immediately and have used it ever since. It has saved my clients and me many thousands of dollars. Now, here's where it's also very interesting. After a while, I realized that the stop loss principle could be used in other ways besides the stock market. I began to place stop loss orders on other worries besides financial ones. I began to place a stop loss order on any and every kind of annoyance and resentment that came to me. It has worked like magic. For example, I often have a lunch date with a friend who's rarely on time. In the old days, he used to keep me stewing for around half my lunch hour before he showed up. Finally, I told him about my stop loss orders on my worries. I said, Bill, my stop loss order on waiting for you is exactly 10 minutes. If you arrive more than 10 minutes late, our lunch engagement will be sold down the river and I'll be gone. Man alive, says Dale Carnegie. How I wish I had the sense years ago to put stop loss orders on my impatience, on my temper, on my desire for self-justification, on my regrets, and on all my mental and emotional strains. Why didn't I have the horse sense to size up each situation that threatened to destroy my peace of mind and say to myself, see here, Dale Carnegie, this situation is worth just so much fussing about and no more. Why didn't I? All right, so there you go. Now, this is interesting, how he talks about the fact that he put a stop-loss order on the fact that he spent 2 years trying to write a novel called The Blizzard. The title was a natural for the reception it got among publishers was as cold as any blizzard that ever howled across the plains of the Dakotas. As I look back now, I can see that I wrote off 2 years of sweating over that novel for what they were worth, a noble experiment, and went forward from there. I returned to my work of organizing and teaching adult education classes and wrote biographies and nonfiction books such as the one you're reading now. Am I glad now that I made that decision? Glad. Every time I think about it now, I feel like dancing in the street for sheer joy. I can honestly say that I've never spent a day or an hour since lamenting the fact that I am not another Thomas Hardy. Henry Thoreau wrote in Walden Pond, "The cost of a thing is the amount of what I call life, which is required to be exchanged for it immediately or in the long run." To put it another way, we are fools when we overpay for a thing in terms of what it takes out of our very existence. Isn't that amazing? And I love the story he tells about the Tolstoys. You'd have to read that chapter for yourself. It's really very funny. Okay? So the point is, let's put a stop-loss order. I believe we could annihilate 50% of all of our worries at once if we would develop a sort of private gold standard, a gold standard of what things are worth to us in terms of our lives. So to break the worry habit before it breaks you, whenever we're tempted to throw good money after bad in terms of human living, let's stop and ask ourselves these 3 questions. How much does this thing I'm worrying about really matter to me? 2, at what point shall I set a stop-loss order on this worry and forget it? And number 3, have I already paid more than it is worth? You know, it's so funny because I've shared the story many times here on this program and in my seminars that I spent over $250,000 trusting the wrong people, listening to idiots, listening to slick salesmen and clever marketers who fleeced me out of my money. And it was my own fault, right? It was my own dumbness that got me into those situations and trusted those idiots where I didn't do my homework. I just trusted people because when I say something, it's true. And so I naturally assumed that everybody's like that. Soon I realized nobody's like that. Right? Everybody is a liar. And so they lie and they exaggerate. And so it was my own fault for not doing my due diligence, not doing my research, and just trusting people at face value. And so now, today, I don't do that anymore. Did it cost me a lot of money? It sure did. And that money's gone. And so I have to, every morning, I have to remember this chapter. I think about that chapter a lot. Because there's so many times that I'm tempted to beat myself up and say, boy, Noah, you were such an idiot for trusting those liars, those con men. And I was an idiot and I didn't do my research. But what am I going to do about it? Am I going to just keep beating myself up? What good does that do? That doesn't do anybody any good. And so I have had to do this. And so what is so nice about this, as you see how we're going through this, and this is why I'm spending a lot of time on this particular book. This is a book that has meant a lot to me, and maybe it will for you too. And so the point is, you can actually do this, because I do this, is you put, remember when I told you earlier about the fact that you want to live in day-tight compartments? Remember that chapter? Go back and watch that episode called How to Live in Day-Tight Compartments. So the point is, remember, we can't go back. We can't go back. So we have to live in day-tight compartments. And our main business is not to see what lies dimly at a distance, but to do what lies clearly at hand. So speaking of that, the big announcement that I have now is that right now, starting today, you can get my book of affirmations right here, this book from Hay House, absolutely free. Now, all you have to do is go to affirmationsbook.com. I'm going to type that in here, affirmationsbook.com. And all you have to do is enter your name and email, and then you just fill out the form. Now, we do ask for a small shipping fee. There's just a small shipping fee for anywhere in the U.S. Now, for when you want to go, if you're in other countries outside the U.S., whether you're in Canada or the U.K. or Australia or wherever around the world you are, there's just a little link down at the bottom of that page. Just click that page if you're not in the U.S. If you're in the U.S., just fill out the form that's right there at affirmationsbook.com. And all you have to do is just, there's just a small shipping fee, and we'll send you the book for free, okay? So right there at affirmationsbook.com, that's a very special limited time offer that we just started today, so I'm very excited to announce that here today on the program. So go ahead and grab your Affirmations book. your book of affirmations right there at affirmationsbook.com. Absolutely free. Now, so our affirmation of the day is this. Why do I put a stop loss order on my worries? Why do I put a stop loss order on my worries? And also make sure to put a stop loss order on your regrets. All right, so make sure you put a stop loss order on your regrets, because those are long gone too. So if you're tempted to throw good money after bad, meaning good feelings after bad feelings, and to forgive yourself, that's one of the things that affirmations can help you with, and also the Power Habits system that I teach you in the Secret Code of Success and also in Power Habits Academy. All right, well, so for everyone here at successclinic.com, I'm Noah St. John signing off for now, and I look forward to being a part of your success story. See you next time, everyone. Bye-bye for now.